Okay. Hey everyone, it's Melissa here. Thanks for joining me. I'm in my bedroom and I am doing some work until I get a desk and make my little office space here. So I just got back from the bank and opened a savings, a checking, and then I opened a checking for my business. I had to put that on hold for a little bit, just everything with the divorce and everything going on in my life. So I did call them. I've got my business name still in good standing. And as I get going here, I am now looking at marketing my business. So I had made a couple cold calls before, well, more than a couple, a few cold calls. I left my name at the laundromat. That was a good way to get business, which I need to do again. I had made some cards, handed them out in New Hampshire when I kind of started going with my business, and then I had stopped. So, what I'm doing now, something that has really intrigued me, is I have two jobs. I worked last night, I got sent home early. Funny story there, when I got sent home early, the bus that was the very last bus that was supposed to bring me home broke down at downtown. So I had someone who came over, a friend who wanted a bite to eat where I was working, and so he's going the same way. So he actually walked home in the dark with me to make sure I got home safely, which was good. So we ended up taking bus 9 and had to walk about a half hour in the middle of the night to get to my place. So, um, the point of this was I had worked and got out early last night, but as I have been working this job and then today I have another orientation at my second job, I have been looking at really what's been intriguing me lately is good businesses. And I'm like, there are so many crappy businesses out there. And I didn't really think of this stuff before. To me, before a job was a job, it was a paycheck. So my teenage jobs, I had a lot of teenage jobs. I was in school and I was just working a lot. So after my first job, Billy's Restaurant was a mom and pop kind of business. I worked my way up from dishwashing, busser, toast girl to waitress. So then I also had worked, I had the forced abortion during this time, so I have talked about that, and I do think it affected my jobs at the time. But I had gone into insurance for a short time. That bored me sitting at a desk job. And then I had gone to, different jobs, the ice cream place, Friendly's, Weeks Restaurant, Red Blazer, Burger King for one day. I tried that. I tried Wendy's for one day. Didn't like it at the time. So as I look back at these jobs, I'm thinking about where I was in life at that time and what can I learn from them. So now I'm taking the broader view and I'm like, what are you learning from them? Because I'm working for two companies that have an amazing mindset right now with work. And I hadn't seen this before, right? And of course, I wasn't really into working in my teen years. I was just working to kind of have a social life and blow money, right? That's kind of all you do sometimes when you're a teenager. And then there was my married life where I worked at Eagle Square. I didn't know what I was doing with my life. And I had worked at Bregan Court Reporting because I went to college. Still not sure what I was doing with my life. I dyed my hair blonde, just totally lost. So jobs didn't mean a whole lot back then to me. And then I worked at Beefside and, just looking at these jobs and then looking later when I got into the cleaning business and seeing like some of them did have pretty high standards. Some of them were like, yes, this is how we do it and this is what we expect. While others were just like, I worked at the Bedford Hotel as I was at a cleaning business. And I worked, that was Haggerty's I was at. And there was really no, at Haggerty's, it was just, your normal job. And then somebody asked me at this job, what was your favorite job? And I go, I think one of my favorite jobs was working at Manja's in Manchester. And I remember it's off Elm Street, and I was just like, you know what? This place is probably a dive. I'll just go there, make some money. And then I got over there, and this guy was like from Italy. He knew his stuff, he knew his product. He had a system for everything, how he did like every little thing. Even the way he put the salt and pepper like on the table, every single time it gets cleaned, it's put a certain way. There was everything was intentional. That's what I learned from him. And not only was he every single meal came out quality, so that you knew what you got, but not just an amazing cook, but an amazing guy with a small business who actually had, regular customers coming all the time. So, that was probably one of my favorite companies that I worked for. So as I look back at like 70 different jobs, and I am now looking at, okay, how am I going to market my business? What am I looking for? As I go into the restaurant today for training, Memorial Day weekend here, it's just, I'm like, hold on, I'm like, wait a minute. There is a lot to this company that I am still digesting. So for example, like, let me see. So one of the things they have said is they don't go like, there's the bottom line that a lot of people do where they're always saving money and they don't invest in like things that are broken. My husband worked for a company like this. Things were broken all the time. They try to save a buck, and this company is income focused, because if you don't have the income, you're not going to have enough money to keep a business going. So just seeing the different things they do. And then the other company I'm working for, they have like this amazing philosophy working for them. And so I'm looking back today to start my own business and looking at all the experience I have, which I usually don't have a hard time getting a job because I have so much experience. And just looking at when I worked at the Holiday Inn, and just the different philosophies. And I'm like, wow, how come, why wasn't I taught really like mindset in business? I mean, I have all this experience, but work experience, customer service is really amazing what I have. But as far as mindset of business, I'm like, why was the mindset not stronger in these companies? Why were there not more standards? Why were people not on the same page? Why did companies not really put, a lot of effort into themselves? So as I look at this and I'm like, geez, you didn't know what you didn't know. You're now working for companies that you should care when you work. You should be able to have certain things in place. One company I work for, they help you with pretty much anything. They're pretty family oriented. If you have any kind of crises, a funeral, whatever, they will help pay for it. Businesses that offer 401ks, etc. These are the ones that you want when they offer the employee a lot. I am used to working for businesses that offer nothing. I mean, they don't do anything for you, right? You get your paycheck and that's it. So, you want to work for good companies. So as I'm looking at all this and I'm like, okay, what is your marketing going to be? I'm now on YouTube, cutting through college, because I did sign up for business courses and then I got busy. So I am cutting through, taking a shortcut with YouTube and being like, okay, how do I want to run my business? So I already have someone who wants to work for me, and I am getting that going today. But look back on your jobs, see what worked, what didn't work. Sometimes it's just, you're in a certain place. I was in my teenage years. I was in my dating years. I'm not going to take a job that serious then. And then I'm raising my kids and it's kind of like, oh yeah, it's just a side job. Now, with all the time I have that's free, it's like, okay, now it's time to get serious. And I've been very fortunate to find some really good companies out here. So, that's kind of what I'm doing. I'm just going to pull from all my experience and start my business, and I'm really excited to do this. I did call about a third job, and then I'm like, wait a minute, instead of having a third job, make your dreams come true. Do that book, do your nonprofit, and do your cleaning business, and put the cleaning business and the nonprofit together. Because what I have seen, my nonprofit I call, to help women keep their babies. But on the other hand, I had a job where I'm telling people go over here to get work because people are having a hard time finding work. So I'm like, put your cleaning business where you can hire people, give them jobs, and then your nonprofit together where you're helping people, put it together. So that's kind of what I'm working on now, and a lot of it's just, brain work and figuring it out. Okay, so that's what I got for now, guys. Thanks for joining me.